Hi, welcome to Starz Recapped. Today, I am going to explain the part 2 of the American fantasy television series called The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, which was released in the year 2022. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. In part 1 of the series, we saw that this world is under the threat of a threat called Sauron, and Sauron's army is digging tunnels in the ground for some specific purpose. Because the orcs cannot expose themselves to sunlight, the threat posed by Sauron was already foreseen by an elves named Galadriel, so she searches for it all over the world and reaches a mansion called Númenor, where humans live. Although some humans still live in the south of Middle-earth, the orc population in the south is now increasing rapidly. These orcs have captured some elves and humans to help them dig their tunnels. But these elves know that if the orcs aren't stopped now, Sauron will plunge the world into darkness. That is why they try to escape from here, so that they can convey this news to their elves king living in Lindon and bring the elves' army here. But the orcs do not allow any of them to escape from here and kill all the elves who try to escape. They present the one surviving elves, Arondir, to Adar, as he is the leader of all these orcs. Now at the beginning of part 2, in the Númenor far to the south, we see the queen here. Then she sees that the fury of the ocean is destroying their kingdom. But then her eyes open, because it was a dream. Galadriel arrives a short while later with some documents she found in the library at Númenor. Galadriel tells the queen that Sauron is returning, and that he will first destroy the south of Middle-earth. His darkness will then spread across the world. Not even your Númenor empire will be able to escape it, because the destruction of the south is just the beginning. So now the time has come for the elves and the Númenor forces to unite and crush Sauron before he can raise his head. To this, the Queen of Númenor says, "We cannot move our army away from here to the south just on the basis of your suspicion." To this, the Galadriel says, "Númenor and the elves have already joined together to defeat Sauron." The queen replies, "It has been years since then, and Númenor has chosen its own path. Anyway, even your own lord and the other elves don't trust you that Sauron is alive, so what should we do?" Then Galadriel says, "Then I'll have to speak directly to your father, who is the rightful king of Númenor." The queen becomes angry at this and has Galadriel imprisoned along with her human friend Halbrand. Here, Arondir sees that all these orcs here are willing to sacrifice their lives for a particular cause. The one who fulfills this objective is their leader Adar, before whom all the orcs bow. Then Arondir realizes that he is an elves by looking at his ears, because elves have pointed ears. Adar then comes to Arondir and says, "You have been told so many lies that you are unable to see the truth. Therefore, to solve this issue, we will have to create this world anew. I am leaving you alive. Go and deliver my message to the humans who have taken refuge in the old tower." Then we see the old tower where the humans are hiding to escape the orcs. Here Bronwyn, the leader of these humans, sees that their food is now finished, so she says, "Call the hunters. We will hunt from the forest." But her son Theo says, "There isn't much prey in the forest. There will only be a few rabbits there, so we'll have to send a team to our old cellar. There's a lot of grain there." To this his mother says, "It's dangerous there, we won't go there." Then we see Theo going down to the basement with his friend without telling his mother. Soon both of them collect a lot of grains from there, but on the way back Theo said, "Let's check out the bar as well. There must be something there." Going inside he finds grains scattered there, which he starts collecting. But outside, his friend runs away as the sun sets. Now Theo realizes the danger, but as soon as he comes face to face with it, Theo quickly takes out the sword that the orcs are looking for. Then he attacks the orc and runs away from here. And that orc came outside of the house and said, "Search the boy. The sword of Sauron is in the hand of that boy." But Theo hide inside a well to escape from the orcs. Here, we see that in this world, besides humans and elves, there are also dwarfs living in the mountains. These dwarfs are amazing engineers. They dig mountains and build their cities and empires inside them. But now these dwarfs have found a special magical stone during excavation, and the king of the elves has sent Elrond to them to find it. Because Dwarf's prince Darin is Elrond's childhood friend, dwarfs will not suspect this. We then see that after arriving here, Elrond secretly listens to Darin's conversation. He comes to know that the same magical stone is being excavated in the tunnel, so he quickly reaches that tunnel and opens the door there by speaking the secret password. He also finds marks of that stone there. Then Darin appears and says, "I knew you were here to spy on me." Elrond replies, "Of course not, my friend. I just came here to see you." But Darin says, "Your king must have sent you here for this." Elrond replies, "No, I have come here only for our friendship. I'm not interested in any of that. Whatever is here, or what you're digging up." Darin says, Then you have to swear on these rocks that, whatever I am going to tell you today, you will not mention it to any living person. If you break your vow, the power of these rocks will cast you into a darkness that you and your entire elves race will never recover from, Elrond says. I swear that any secret you tell me will remain to me only. Darin then shows him the stone, whose name is Mithil. Darin says, this will change the fate of our species. It will be the beginning of a new era. Elrond looks at him and says, then why are you keeping it a secret? You should be celebrating. But Darin says, there's a lot of danger in digging it up. Every day our dwarf brothers are getting killed during excavations due to collapse of tunnels. That is why my father has prohibited its excavation. Elrond tries to give him the Mithil back, but Darin says, keep it as a symbol of our friendship. Just then, another tunnel collapses, burying 4 more dwarfs. Here, Halbrand says to Galadriel, the queen did not get angry at all your talk, but she got angry at the mention of meeting her father. Galadriel says to this. This means she is hiding something. Just then the soldiers arrive and say, the queen has ordered that you will be sent to Middle-earth by boat tonight itself. But as soon as she comes out, Galadriel attacks these soldiers and runs towards the queen's father. But when she reaches there, she sees that King's condition is so bad that he is unable to even talk. Then Queen Present there says, very few people know about his condition, so it would be better if this news does not go out. Galadriel says, then we should be friends. Your father and the elves had a good relationship. Then why not yours? The queen explains, our people revolted, so we had to revert to the old ways. I had to become queen in place of my father to end the rebellion. After that, my father brought me here. And in this shrine, he showed me the future of Númenor. As soon as Galadriel places her hand on it, she sees the same vision as the queen. The kingdom of Númenor will be destroyed. The queen says, according to the prophecy, the destruction of Númenor will begin the day an elf sets foot on Númenor. That's why we ended all relations with the elves. But still, you have set foot here, so I want to send you away as soon as possible. But Galadriel says, this could also mean that if the evil forces join me, let the elves and Númenor fight this battle together once again. Here, at the old tower, Bronwyn sees that Theo's friend has returned with the grain, but not her son Theo. There, we see Theo, who is sneaking around to escape from the orcs. The orcs are now spread out everywhere because Theo has found the sword they're looking for. Theo tries to sneak out of here, but then an orc catches him. But before the orc can attack, Arondir comes from behind and kills the orc and runs away with Theo. Now the orcs also start chasing them. These orcs have spread all over the forest, but Arondir is also killing them, but their numbers are too high. Bronwyn then arrives there, and the 3 of them start running towards the sunlight. Arondir soon intercepts them and arrives in the open forest, and now the orcs can't come out because they burn in direct sunlight. Taking advantage of this, the 3 quickly escape. Here, in the mountains, we see Darin arrive and tell us the last dwarf managed to escape from that tunnel. Thankfully no one was killed, but now my father has banned any further digging. We can't dig that stone anymore. Darin gets very angry at his father, to which Elrond reassures him, don't be angry at your father. He needs you. Now he is old, and soon you will be the new king in his place. Then you will understand his importance. Darin immediately goes to his father and apologizes. His father says, I am your father and the king of these dwarfs, and they are all like my children. To this Darin says, okay, father, as you think best. I wanted to ask you one more thing. Elrond has asked me to come with him to his kingdom. Lindon, may I go? His father replies, from your friend's behavior so far, it seems that his king has not sent him here with any wrong intention. But anyway, you should go to Lindon and find out the truth. In the south, we see that the 3 have reached the old tower. Bronwyn becomes upset when she sees Arondir upset, as they both love each other very much. Then Arondir says, the orc chieftain Adar has sent a message to you humans. You will only survive if you surrender your lands to him and kneel before him. If refused, he will come here and attack and leave no one alive. Theo looks at the sword he holds. Then an old man comes and says, I know that you have that sword because I had it before you, and you stole it from me. Look, we have the same mark on our hands. It's not just a sword. It's an amazing power. So save your strength, child, because bad things are about to happen. Sauron is returning. Meanwhile, an orc appears and tells Adar that a boy took that sword in the old tower. Further away in the Númenor, we see Queen Regent Miriel, sending Galadriel back to Middle-earth. Just then, the leaves of the white tree begin to fall. This means that something very bad is about to happen. Seeing this, the queen immediately stops Galadriel and announces to her subjects, the white tree's leaves falling is a very ominous sign. The hour of judgment has arrived. The dark forces are rising again in the south of Middle-earth. That's why I'll personally lead a contingent of my army and Galadriel to Middle-earth to rescue my human brothers who are trapped there. After this, the captain orders the army to be formed. Everyone raises their hands and says, "We will also join this war." Here, we see Adar staring at the sun. Then an orc comes and says, "Our tunnels are finished." Adar says, "Bring your hand." As soon as the direct sunlight falls, the orc's hand starts burning. Adar laughs and says, "Soon you will all be relieved of this trouble. Now go call the army. The time has come." At the old tower, Bronwyn tells all the humans about Adar's warning. "If we don't surrender our lands to him and kneel before him, he will come here and kill us all. Besides, I am not the human king you are waiting for. But if you fight with me, then in the future this tower will become a symbol of our bravery, not cowardice. Now tell me, who will fight this battle with me?" Some of them raised their hands, but at that time Waldreg came forward and said, "If we fight with you against that devils, we all will surely die in the hand of them. To vow down and do their slavery is better than make them our enemies. At least we will be alive." That's why he tell rest of the humans to go with him and vow and kneel down in Fort of Adar. We will live, not win. Some leave with him, but others decide to stay and fight with Bronwyn. As he leaves, Waldreg tries to take Theo with him, but Theo refuses to leave his mother. Meanwhile, the Númenor army begins rapid preparations for war. These people are preparing their ships as quickly as possible. The captain's son also wants to join this war, but the captain initially refuses him. When the son does not give up his stubbornness, the captain finally includes him in the army. We see the soldiers capture Halbrand and bring him to Galadriel and the queen. The queen asks, "What is the enemy's position?" Halbrand replies, "The enemy is advancing towards the old tower." The queen orders, "Get ready. You must unite your people." After this, the queen leaves from there. Galadriel tells Halbrand, "Your human people in the south have no king, so I told the queen that you are their king." A little while later, Galadriel comes out and sees the soldiers practicing their battle formations before going off to war. Galadriel then says, "Killing an orc is not the same as killing a human." She then tells everyone that there are many ways to kill an orc, but I'll only tell you the most straightforward way. After this, Galadriel says, "Come on, everyone attack me." The captain declares, "Whoever defeats Galadriel will be made vice commander." Then, a soldier steps forward to fight with Galadriel, but he can't even touch her because Galadriel is too fast and sharp. She tells the soldier, "Fencing is a sport of balance. Fight with your feet, not just your arms." Then, his friend joins in, and together they attack the Galadriel. After this, the rest of the soldiers also arrive, and together they attack Gladius. But no one is able to defeat her. Galadriel defeats them all one by one, blocking everyone's attacks. Then, she says, "It takes more than just strength to defeat an orc. It takes wisdom, although you guys have only been able to cut my cloth. But that is still a big thing." Galadriel makes that soldier a deputy commander. Here, we see the queen's cousin say, "There is great benefit to Númenor in helping humans. We will save the south of Middle-earth and give humans the king they have been waiting for. That king will forever be in our debt, and we will benefit from everything. The metals of Middle-earth, the forests, the trade, the gifts, everything will be ours. Therefore, we will continue this campaign of war." Meanwhile, Queen also comes and tells her father, "Your dream is about to come true. We are going to do what you always wanted to do." To this, her father says, "Do not go to Middle-earth. There you will find only darkness." Meanwhile, in the elves' capital of Lindon, Durin visits Elrond and the elves' king, as the elves wish to make a treaty with dwarfs. After Durin leaves, the elves' king asks Elrond about the new metal that dwarfs has unearthed. Elrond says, "I swore to keep this secret from my friend. I can't tell you about that metal." "Do you know what that metal is?" says the king. "According to our old sagas, an elves' warrior put all his strength into it to save the sacred tree. But the fire demon of Morgoth also used all his strength to destroy that tree. Meanwhile, the tree was struck by lightning, which transmitted its power to the rocks underground. And now, dwarfs has discovered that same power in the form of a metal. Now, only that power can save us, because our sacred tree is slowly dying. Once it dies, all the elves will perish. Is the oath of your friend greater than the destruction of your entire species? If the elves perish, Middle-earth will go into darkness. And after the elves, all the species on Earth will perish. This Earth will be destroyed. If all this doesn't make you want to break your oath to your friend, then our conversation was pointless." Next, we see Elrond approaching Calibrim and asking him, "Do you think this mithril metal can save us?" To this, Calibrim replies, "I've tested it in every way. The light from this metal never fades. So, if we collect a good amount of it, we can save our light. This will allow the elves to live for centuries again. Here in the south, we see Waldreg bringing his companions to Adar. All of them sit on their knees before Adar and agree to become his slaves. Over there, at the old tower, Theo says to Arondir, "We're all going to die in this tower." "Then why are you staying with us?" Arondir replies, "After years of observing you humans, I've had the chance to see the goodness and personalities in you." Theo says, "Half of them left." Arondir replies, "But half of them stayed, right?" Theo then shows him the sword of Sauron. Arondir says, "I've seen it before." When they investigate, they find a rock with Sauron's face on it, along with the sword itself. After this, Arondir tells Bronwyn, "It's some kind of key, but what it's used for, I don't know. Adar told me that he was about to settle the orcs in the south, and this key makes it clear that he is coming here to attack for this key. If he gets hold of this key, he will achieve his goal. We must not let him get hold of this key at any cost." Now, Bronwyn's courage begins to fail. She says, "We won't be able to fight the enemy. Everything will be lost, and this tower will fall on us." Just then, Arondir gets an idea. Here, we see a massive orc army of Adars heading for the old tower. They are ready to paint this tower with human blood, and soon they will reach the tower. In Lindon, Elrond tells Durin the truth. "My purpose in coming to you was not just our friendship, but something more. I came in search of this stone, because without it we will perish. The elves need this stone because our sacred tree is dying. If it dies, all the light will be gone, without which the elves will not survive. Our whole race will become extinct." Durin says, "Oh, so I guess the future of the entire elves race is in my hands." Elrond replies, "Yes, it seems so." Durin smiles and says, "Okay, what will you remember too? But don't accept the favor so quickly, because first we have to convince my father to give me this stone." After this, both of them again start going towards the mountains to convince their dwarf's king, but they don't know that the elves' king was listening to their entire conversation. Here, in Númenor, we see a massive army from Númenor set out to rescue the humans in the south of Middle-earth. All of these humans have boarded their ships and are ready to fight the enemy. Their queen herself is accompanying them to fight in this battle. Just then, Galadriel also arrives on the ship in her elves' armor. The captain says, "The time for battle has come. Soon, we will be at Middle-earth to rescue our brothers there." After this, they take their ships and head for Middle-earth. And here, before arriving at the tower, Adar tells his orc army, "After today, everything is going to change. We have suffered a lot. The enemy may be few in number, but still some of our soldiers will be killed today. But their sacrifices will not go in vain, because today we will kill these enemies and make this land of the south ours with the sword of Sauron." Soon they reach the tower, but when Adar goes inside, he sees that there is no one there. There is silence all around, but Arondir was already hiding there. Then Adar finds the same mark of Sauron. One of Adar's soldiers comes and tells him. Just then, Arondir attacks them and quickly activates a trap that brings down the tower. He closes the outside door and runs away. Then, in no time, the entire tower starts falling on the orcs, due to which many orcs get crushed and die. After the entire tower collapses, the humans are happy to see it, because they had already set the trap and escaped. Bronwyn says, "We don't have much time. We have to prepare the villagers quickly." Meanwhile, the Númenor army is coming toward them by sea. Galadriel is watching the rising sun while talking to the captain's son. On the other side, Arondir is trying to break that sword with a hammer, but despite all his efforts, it doesn't break. So he tells Bronwyn, "If we can't destroy it, we'll have to hide it somewhere where no one will find it." After this, they start laying traps for the oncoming enemies and get ready for their final battle. Arondir tells them, "This place is beneficial to us, but we have to let the enemies in first. No one will attack until they cross the bridge. Now gather your courage. Even a small army can defeat a big enemy. It will be dark soon, so do your duty. I promise we will definitely see the sun tomorrow. Now go and take your places." Bronwyn sends her son Theo to the tavern with the other women, old people and children. Then, Arondir and Bronwyn try to spend some time with each other before this war. As soon as night falls, silence spreads all around. Everyone is scared, and is waiting for the enemies to arrive. Soon the orc army arrives there, and their numbers are very large. They cross the bridge, come in, and spread out in all directions, looking for humans. When an orc advances toward Bronwyn, she attacks him. She sets the cart on fire and throws it at them, causing the fire to spread all around and engulf the orcs. Arondir and the rest of the humans begin killing the orcs by firing arrows from all sides, but the orcs retaliate and quickly break out of the trap. All the humans get ready for a face-to-face battle and attack the orcs. Everyone is fighting bravely. Then an orc attacks Arondir and knocks him down, but Arondir killed the orc. But a large orc appears from behind and attacks Arondir, wounding him badly. and the other orcs' army also killing humans very badly. Arondir tries to use his speed to kill the orc, but he is much stronger and quickly overpowers Arondir. He is about to strangle Arondir when Bronwyn comes from behind and kills him, and both of them see that the other remaining orcs are also killed by the humans. They all are happy to know that they won the battle and starts to dance in happiness. But their happiness didn't last for long, because when they remove the mask of their enemies, they are shocked to know that most of them are their own human companions who had earlier joined Adar's army. In fact, Adar had sent them along with the orcs in the first attack. Then Adar's army starts raining arrows from all sides. This was his real attack, in which many humans were killed. An arrow also hits Bronwyn. Arondir immediately picks her up and takes her into the bar and closes the door. The orcs are now surrounded from all sides. Inside, Arondir first removes the arrow from Bronwyn's wound, which starts bleeding profusely. He tries to stop the bleeding by cauterizing the wound. Outside, the orcs are trying to break down the door. But then, there's a ray of hope. The Númenor army is arriving with a large contingent. But before they can get there, the orcs break through the door and begin killing the humans. Adar comes in and tells Arondir, "You know what I came here for. Give me that sword." Arondir replies, "No way." Then Adar starts killing more humans. Adar says, "Let's see how many humans you'll sacrifice for that sword." And then Adar put his sword on the neck of Bronwyn. Then Theo says, "Wait, I know where the sword is." He gives the sword to Adar to save his mother. As Adar leaves, the Númenor army arrives and attacks the orcs. The humans inside also take advantage of the opportunity and attack the enemies. Outside of the house, the army of Númenor surrounded the orcs and started killing them without showing any mercy. Galadriel power looks different in this war. The soldiers of Númenor are showing no mercy to the orcs. The queen watches all this from a distance, and Captain's son is eager to join the battle. That is why the queen sends him too. And he also comes and joins the fight. Now the orcs are losing badly. Arondir then says to Galadriel, "Adar is running away with that sword." Galadriel then runs after him, and Halbrand, seeing her go, follows as well. Together they go after Adar. Adar tries his best to escape, but is unable to do so. Halbrand and Galadriel quickly surround him and knock him down. As Adar moves towards the sword, Halbrand attacks him. Galadriel then says, "Put your weapon down, Halbrand. He's provoking you. I want him alive." Then when they come back, we see that they have captured the remaining orcs, and Galadriel now begins interrogating Adar. She tells it, "I want your master. Where is Sauron?" To which Adar replies, "Sauron is no more. I killed him with my own hands." To which Galadriel replies, "I will not be swayed by your childish talk. Tell me your master's address." Then Adar said that Sauron tried with all his strength. To resettle Middle-earth, he sought a power that was not limited to the body alone. That's why he went towards the north in search of power, but the dark forces overpowered him. Galadriel says, "I don't believe you." Adar replies, "Soon all the land to the south will be ours. All orcs are my children, and we have as much right to life as you do. That's why we will build our world here. Then you will believe me." Galadriel says, "No matter how many centuries it takes, I will kill each and every one of your orcs, and destroy them all. But I will keep you alive, so that in the end, when I put a dagger in your chest, I can give you the news that we have destroyed the entire race of devils like you." Then Halbrand comes and takes Galadriel out. Outside we see Bronwyn, on behalf of all the villagers, saying to the Queen of the Númenor, "We will never forget your favor. You saved us." To this the Queen says, "Your people are alive because of you. You have given them hope. Now I will give these humans the king they have been waiting for." So the queen declares, "The king of all the people in the south is Halbrand." On hearing this, all the people here accept Halbrand as their king. Then Galadriel gives this sword to Arondir. When Arondir comes to Theo, he finds an axe in it instead of a sword, because the real sword had already been given by Adar to Waldreg, who puts it back in its rightful place. This sword was the key to Sauron. Then we see that the water from the mountain starts flowing from here, and starts bursting out from the wells of the village like a bomb. No one is able to understand what is happening, but orcs and Adar know their mission is accomplished. But now you please like and share this underrated channel of ours, so that this good content gets good views. Fill the comments section with part 3 of the Rings of Power, because due to your responses, this video will reach more people. That's my explanation for the American TV series, The Rings of Power, Part 2. So guys, what do you think about the series? Write in the comment. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.